This is your boy Tony Sway, and I'm back with another RNB Talk podcast. So let's get it in. Got my little Fender right here, you know what I'm saying? You never know when inspiration is gonna strike. Y'all feel me on that? Anyway, today I want to talk about, do you guys think that there's going to be any icons from this generation of R&B, this new generation of R&B singers? Do you guys think there are going to be any icons? Yeah, that's what I want to know. So out of, the last couple years, these late 2000s up to now, 2019, and as we enter into 2020, who do you guys think will be the icons, 10, 15 years from now? Do you think that this generation has people that will be compared to the likes of like the Marvin Gayes or the Princes, or even like the Aretha Franklins or the Sade, like that shot. I got Sade up in my apartment because I just absolutely love the music that she's put out with her band. Really incredible, timeless music. So I always got to pay respect to the legends, you know what I'm saying? So, but again, do you guys think there's going to be any iconic artists from this day and age, from this generation? Let me know your thoughts. Let me know, do you guys, do you think anybody from this generation is really even worthy of getting to that level of the Michael Jacksons, the Sades, Princes, people on that level of R&B that became iconic figures that are basically they're in the history books, the best-selling artists of all time, all that kind of different things, or even the Mariah Careys for that matter. Even though Mariah Carey's still going, she's up there as well. She's one of the legendary people, really from the early 90s, late 80s, and early 2000s. She's one of the top selling artists of all time as well. So is there anybody who will ever achieve similar levels of iconic status in this generation? I'm gonna tell you what I think about it in a second here. First, let me warm up on my guitar a little bit. I ain't got no amp on this, so it would sound a lot crazier if I had the amp. But anyways, I do think there is a few people from this generation. Now, obviously, I'm not going to mention myself because that's tasteless. But yeah, I try never to compare myself to anything. I just love making music. But enough about me. I'm going to tell you who I think in this generation will achieve iconic status in the future. I think, number one, Chris Brown. I think he's the closest thing we have to a Michael Jackson as far as just on an entertainment level, the dancing, the singing ability, songwriting, and just overall being able to captivate an audience and continue to stay relevant. And every year still putting out stuff that's relevant, that's hitting the charts, that's going number one. And still can pack a stadium and do what it does, you know what I'm saying? So I think Chris Brown will be one of the icons. 10, 15 years from now, he'll be mentioned. He probably is getting mentioned with some of those big people already, but I think he's somebody from this generation that will be for the history books. So yeah, somebody else from this generation that I think will be on that level. I do think it's not like I think there's a lot, to be honest, but I do think like Miguel. I think Miguel, he'll be one of those people that's considered an icon down the line 10, 15 years from now, as long as he keeps staying consistent with his projects, and I think he'll be mentioned right up there with some of the greats. he still has some more work to put in, but he's right in that unique category of really doing his thing and proving himself as just an all-around great artist and a great R&B soul artist. But he's also not contained by just the one genre. He's an eclectic artist that blends several influences and then puts that soulful vocal on top of the production. And so I think he'll be one of the people that's mentioned, 10, 15 years from now. And so my next one is a female R&B artist. I don't know if this one will shock you guys because they're kind of new, but I do think that Kiana Lede, like Sade, Kiana Lede, I think that she will be in her time one of the icons of her generation. She's really just getting her start. She got 2 projects out. One of them's an EP and one of them's is like an album for sure. But not like, it's only like, I think it's like 7, 8 tracks. So I think it qualifies it as an album, but she has 2 projects out. Really great. More of a younger type of sound, but she keeps the elements of all the old school in her music with the harmonies and the emotions. And I think 10, 15 years from now, well, maybe a little bit longer, maybe 15 years from now, 15, 20 years from now, she'll be one of the iconic R&B artists that will be, people will remember. And, it's tough to say right now because, like I said, she's just starting out and, she's only has her first 2 projects. And you have to, understand that we're in a new generation of consuming music. It's not like the days of MTV or the early days of BET where you had these crazy video shows that got people hyped up. It's a different world now. It's a Spotify world, playlist world. It's a social media world. And for artists to really thrive in this generation, people say it's easier, which I do think that is true, but it's easy and tough at the same time because there's so many people doing it. You have to be that much greater. You have to do that much more to stand out. That's why you see a lot of artists these days kind of, doing wild stuff to get attention. It's because there's so many people out there. People are trying to find ways to stand out, and sometimes people do some crazy things for that clout, you know what I mean? So at the end of the day, man, I'm gonna try to recognize who I think is the greats, in this generation, even though people want to say that R&B's over with. It's definitely not over with. If you think it's over with, do me a favor and go check out Kiana Lede's last 2 projects. Trust me, she's doing her thing. So those are 3 people that I think that will be iconic in years to come. 15, 20 years down the line, people will still mention those names. That's what I believe. So Chris Brown, Miguel, Kiana Lede, those are my picks for future icons. Chris Brown's pretty much right. He's already kind of right there. But he still has, trust me, he's probably going to drop another 20 projects in the next 10 years, I bet. So he's just getting started. So that's pretty much my thoughts and who I think is going to be the icons of the next generation of R&B today. Even though people try to say it's gone, I don't think it's gone. I just gave you evidence of those are 3 different artists right there who are doing their thing. You know what I mean? So, like I said, check them out. And everybody knows Chris Brown, but everybody might not know Kiana Lede. You need to listen to her projects. Go watch her music videos on YouTube. And of course, Miguel, go listen to his projects. These are iconic artists, in my opinion, and I think they're here to stay. 15 years from now, I think you're gonna hear of these people still. So that's about it. This is R&B Talk, podcast number 5, I think. You know what I mean? I'm not keeping track, but anyway, I'm gonna get back to being in the lab and make me some food, and that's about it. Let me know your guys' thoughts on who you guys think are the most iconic people, or let me know who you think is going to be who's going to be the next icons of today, or who do you think is going to be the next icons of this generation? So just let me know what you guys think. It's your boy Tony Sway, TonySwayMusic.com. Holla at me.